Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the COP Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you is having a fantastic Wednesday, wherever we are around the world. Welcome back to a match reaction show. Of course, Liverpool did play their last their last game out in Asia, of course, on the preseason tour. They did win by 3-1. We'll talk all about the game. We'll get into, of course, obviously the key moments, and again, get your guys' thoughts down in the comment section down below. Because look, as the title says, I realistically want to talk about one fella in particular, and that is Rio Ngumoha, or Ngumoha, however you pronounce his name. I think everybody now is going to talk, going to pronounce it as Ngumoha, which, to be fair, is probably the correct pronunciation, but still, again, what a talent he is. And we'll talk all and get your guys' thoughts down in the comments anyway. But I will say it as well. We will be back a bit later on tonight as well. We're going to talk, obviously, about the transfer news. Of course, Luis Diaz is confirmed to go on to Bayern Munich. We'll talk also about Alexander Isak and other bits and pieces as well. So that will be in tonight's episode as well. So that'll be about 9 p.m. UK time. Anyways, so again, we'll be back a bit later on. But we're here just to discuss the game in particular. It was 11:30 this morning, wasn't it? So casually had it on in the corner. But big up QT as well, saying smash the likes and subs on your way in as well. Yeah, that would be appreciated as well. And big up Ollie as well, saying good evening. Connor, hopefully you're doing well as well. But yeah, obviously the key factors of the game, as we'll dive straight into it. Of course, taking a look at the information again, like we mentioned. Of course, Liverpool last game out in Asia. Of course, we will fly back. I believe it's tomorrow. Liverpool will fly back out to the UK, of course, and obviously come back home. But as you guys can see, with their Liverpool 3-1 winners, goals from Rio Ngumoha, Trainioni, and Florian Wirtz. Of course, Florian Wirtz's first Liverpool goal, which again was absolutely great. And I think, of course, we did get to see probably the strongest lineup we've seen from Arne Slot so far in this preseason. I think, as you guys can see that on screen right now, again, pretty much what will most likely be the starting 11 against Crystal Palace for the Community Shield. Maybe we might make, obviously, a bit of adjustments there with, obviously, Mamardashvili for Ali, potentially. And I think as well, Alexis McAllister, when he does come back to full fitness. Of course, he did play half an hour in the second half, which again was a really, really good half, or really good 30 minutes for him. But again, the couple of things that I really wanted to talk about was, again, the debut of Hugo Ekitike. I thought Ekitike was really, really good in that first half in particular. I thought, in my honest opinion, again, the link-up play, yes, it's early days because, look, that pitch as well was absolutely horrific out in Japan. So again, it wasn't really, you couldn't really judge anything in terms of football wise, because again, I think there were plenty of people that did struggle. A few players did struggle on the pitch today. I thought Canate did a little bit, and Ryan Gravenberch. I think both of them, certainly Ryan Gravenberch, who does rely awfully on dribbling. And again, that's one of his best strengths, is dribbling with the ball. I think obviously the pitch wasn't at his best, really, to be able to do that anyway. But I think, look, in terms of link-up play and what we did see of certain players, like I said, I want to give a massive shout-out to Hugo Ekitike. I thought his link-up play was brilliant. You could see him dropping in now and again, obviously linking the play alongside Florian Wirtz with Dominic Szoboszlai. And I think as well, I think with certainly, that wasn't just the only thing we've seen of him. Again, him running in behind, which again, I think in the second half in particular, you saw that a few times from Darwin Núñez. But I think the difference between the two, like, I think a lot of people were kind of judging Hugo Ekitike and going, oh, is he a better version of Darwin Núñez? And I think when you compare the two, I look at it and go, they're miles apart from each other. They clearly are. In the sense that Hugo Ekitike is a way better player than Darwin Núñez. Again, close control, fantastic from Hugo Ekitike. Link-up play, like I said, again, early stages of development, in my honest opinion. I thought he was very, very good in that sense. And of course, playing alongside Mo Salah, Florian Wirtz, again, you think at the start of the season, at the present moment in time, that is most likely going to be the front four for Liverpool. Florian Wirtz in the 10, Mo on the right, Cody on the left, and Hugo Ekitike in the false nine, or the number 9, really. But again, I thought the link-up play between all of them was very, very good. And Liverpool were a bit unlucky not to be leading going into half-time, of course. But still, look, I know plenty of people, certainly rival fans, mainly Arsenal fans, taking the mick out of Liverpool for being 1-0 behind. But then, look, simply Liverpool brought on more attacking players and then, of course, got the win in the end. But Ollie says still needs a centre-back, in my opinion, especially with Gomez's injury record. Yeah, true. I think you look at this game in particular, I think Wataru Endo ended up coming on for Virgil van Dijk, which was a nice moment. Of course, with being in Japan as well, and giving Endo the captaincy. But I think one thing as well I wanted to really talk about was when we talk about the right back position as well. Obviously, we haven't really seen Jeremy Frimpong playing as a right back in pre-season so far. He's either been playing, obviously, Conor Bradley as a right back being brought on, or whether or not playing as a right wing option for, again, realistically a replacement for Mo Salah. But we finally got to see Jeremy Frimpong as a wing back, and it was very, very good. And it was very, very good. Again, got the assist for Trey Nyoni. Again, when we talk about a player with huge recovery pace, it's a massive bonus for how you want to play. And of course, Liverpool, I think so far in this preseason, I think the one kryptonite I think everyone would say at the minute the Liverpool are looking at the moment and trying to fix is obviously getting caught on the counter. And getting caught on transition. I think that's the major thing at the moment, certainly on the Liverpool aspect of things, that in my honest opinion, we do need to work at a bit more. But I think that does come down in maybe in the next week or two when we talk about, obviously, mainly at the moment, I think obviously the tour of Japan and Hong Kong was mainly fitness. And that is, the aspect of things. I think the games against, obviously now the 2 games against Atletico Bilbao, I think that will be more tactical and how Liverpool want to adjust, really, and how we want to play next season, of course. But you most likely would expect the likes of the first team to probably get a full 90 minutes in next week for sure. But big up Cal as well. Hope he's doing well. I felt bad for Ekitike. Hardly got the ball. I thought he did well when he did have it, though. I thought he was very, very good on the ball. Just in general, in my honest opinion. Anyway, but we'll dive into, again, obviously you guys can see all the substitutions on screen. But again, we'll get into the statistics types of it, of course. And when we talk about, obviously, Yokohama, obviously they had, obviously I think they're in the middle of their season, to be fair. So again, I think their manager spoke about it yesterday in terms of this is real good preparation for them, because I think at the moment they are around 16th, I think, in the J League at the present moment in time. But again, you look at an overall perspective, they were pretty decent, for the first half. They did give Liverpool a hard game in that sense, certainly in the first half. In particular, of course, on here I can't really judge from the first half to the second half. But again, you look in general, in terms of, again, obviously Liverpool 68% possession, which that is obviously inevitably noticeable. Again, 9 corners to 4, which we should really talk about Florian versus corners, because it wasn't great, was it? Let's be honest. But obviously 10 fouls to 9, free kicks 11 each, and then of course Liverpool got a yellow card. I think that yellow card was, as you guys can see there, Harvey Elliott as well, which is a bit of a mad one. To be fair, because I think he made a foul and the ref just quickly pulled out his card, which was a bit mental, as it goes on to show Harvey Elliott, which you guys don't need to see Harvey Elliott's profile. But even still, like, for me, the one guy I do want to talk about is Rio Ngumoha. I think so far in this preseason, he has been the guy that everyone has spoke about and spoke very highly upon. I think he, in my honest opinion, needs to be given the opportunity. We talk about, and I've spoke about plenty of times on transfer shows, about how Liverpool need to potentially now get a backup because we've lost Luis Diaz and we don't have that winger really at the football club. Well, if Liverpool play their cards correctly, Rio Ngumoha will become that winger. What a special talent he is. And I know people instantly go, oh, we kind of did this with Joel Konza and we hyped Joel Conser up to be the next Virgil van Dijk, and look, there is still the possibility that Liverpool might sign back Joel Conser after he has his time out in Leverkusen. But still, I think there's a massive reason why Chelsea was so upset letting go of Rio Ngumoha. Again, if you listen to all the academy reporters and I think everybody in the academy space, Rio Ngumoha was their big, massive talent to come up over the next couple of years. Again, the Chelsea academy, it's brought so many talented players to the Premier League and in football in general. I think you look at obviously certain players that Liverpool have signed from that neck of the woods when we talk about Dom Solanke as well in recent years. But even still, like Daniel Sturridge coming through. I think also as well, you look at players, even now Rio Ngumoha coming through. And even in the past, you've had obviously Mason Mount, you've had Jamal Musiala as well, also come out of that Chelsea academy. And apparently Rio Ngumoha was the guy that Chelsea did not want to lose at all because he was one for the future. And as Ozan said by a Ted Bowley style 9-year contract for Rio and Trey now con. And that's the thing. Like for me, honestly, I do think Rio Ngumoha should be given the opportunity to thrive this season. Absolutely should be. I think cup games especially, I think he'll 100% start them games. I think the first League Cup game is a couple of games into the season. I think we will be seeing Rio Ngumoha on the left-hand side to back up Cody Gakpo. I don't think Liverpool are necessarily looking for a winger replacement because they have the replacement already for Luis Diaz, and that is Rio Ngumoha. And if Liverpool play their cards correctly, Rio could become a really, really special player. He really, really could. Similar like how we did it with Raheem Sterling. We allowed Raheem Sterling to sneak his way into the first team, and then that 13-14 season, he absolutely thrived alongside Luis Suarez and Daniel Sturridge, and that could be exactly the same. Where, for example, if Liverpool do go on to sign Alexander Isak, Rio Ngumoha could literally be thriving alongside the front four of Florian Wirtz, Alexander Isak, and Mohamed Salah. Like that is a frightening partnership or frightening four that you are a part of. And in my honest opinion, I think he will be amazing for us for sure. But 100% agree with Cal Bayer as well, saying thought Maka changed the game. Yeah, no, he did. I think people this season, when we've talked about starting 11s for the season, and certain people have kind of gone, oh, who gets into your midfield? And even though we have signed Florian Wirtz, the number one name on my list is Alexis McAllister, because he is that unbelievable. Again, he makes everything look easy. He can play in the 6, can play as an 8, can play as a 10 if you wanted him to. He just looks everything. He makes everything simple. And in my honest opinion, that game, when he came on, completely changed the game. And look, I've liked seeing Dominic Szoboszlai a bit deeper, because I thought Dom in the first half was everywhere. I thought when we talk about pressing matters, again, Dom Szoboszlai was everywhere, along with Florian Wirtz. I think the two of them pressed extremely well today. And again, it's a great sign ahead of games against Bilbao and obviously the Community Shield coming up as well. And for me, I think that's probably the headache going into the season. What is your midfield three? And I still think it is Gravenberch, Maka, and Florian Wirtz. Unfortunately, I don't think Dom Szoboszlai gets in when we talk about what is Liverpool's best midfield three. Don't get me wrong, is Dominic Szoboszlai still going to be a huge part of the season? Of course he is. Dom can play the 10, he can play deeper like we've seen so far in this pre-season. And I think the other thing for Dominic Szoboszlai, he can also play right back. There was a lot of big question marks around, could we see Dominic Szoboszlai play as a right back, similar how Real Madrid last season or the last couple of seasons have used Valverde. And we've seen it against Stoke, how Dominic Szoboszlai was moved into midfield, and that was the main overload on that side, where you had You had Dominic Szoboszlai running in behind. You had Florian Wirtz. You had Mo Salah. Like, you could put Dom at right back if you needed it to. But of course, Liverpool at the minute have very good options in Conor Bradley and Jeremy Frimpong. But for a game, for example, if you need to bring in Dom as a right back and have Florian Wirtz, McAllister, and Grav to be that midfield three as well, I think that's a brilliant option as well. But for me, I think that's the biggest headache going into the season. For me, it's a question mark of who starts between, Wirtz and Gravenberch. Well, let's be honest, Florian Wirtz starts for Liverpool. McAllister starts, and then it's that question mark of what do you do with Ryan Gravenberch? Well, clearly Gravenberch is going to start because he's our 6. And that's the unfortunate side for Dom Szoboszlai, where you go, oh, where's the room for Dom? But again, Liverpool have options to potentially go on to play like a 4-1-2-1-2 diamond if you wanted to. Similar like we did in 13-14. Because again, we've got the midfielders now to do it. But again, that's a tactical thing that maybe Arne Slot might think about a bit further on in the season ahead anyway. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts as well. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the game as well, because I know plenty of you guys would have watched it this morning as well as me. But can't lie, I'm not liking Szoboszlai deeper, says Cal. Why, Cal? Again, let me know. Again, personally, I've liked seeing him a bit deeper, but again, I still like seeing him bomb forward, of course. But big up Gary saying Telio, Albin, Rio Ekitike, Salah, Wirtz must start at Wembley. I wouldn't start him against Palace. I think the front four would be Cody, Mo, Wirtz and Ekitike. I think that'll be the front four for Palace. But Con, are you very excited about this endo? No. I look at it. It's preseason, right? When the commentators turn around and say the tallest defender we have on the pitch is Kostas Tsimikas. Like that's the funniest line I think I've heard. I've ever heard in preseason, where we're legit talking about how what's it called? Oh, how freaking my train the thought's gone. Oh, how tall Kostas Tsimikas is compared to the rest of the back four. I think it's hilarious for me personally. But look, we'll discuss about it. But very busy. Sorry for being late. No problems. QT. Big up guys as well. Szoboszlai is looking very good. He is at the minute. Very, very good. But Ekitike is Nunes 2.0. I don't mean that in a bad way. 2.0. What on earth do you mean, QT? QT, I'm about to remove that spanner from your name. What are you talking about? But my point being, guys, we'll defend the new shiny toy when Nunes was doing the same, but never got respect for what he does. Look, I think the best, I think truly right, the best thing to look at it right was the second half, where Darwin Nunes has that chance of, I can't remember who crossed it in. It might be Mo who crossed it in, and he has time. He has time to take control of it and then finish it. But he decides to just he tries to push it in with his left foot and completely misses the ball, or completely misses the goal. Sorry, not the ball. And you're like, I'm sorry, if Ekitike is in that spot, or if Alexander Isak is in that spot, they finish it. They do it easy. They easily finish it. Now, I think XG wise, it worked out to around 0.78, which pretty much anything over that or anything of that means pretty much a goal, and he's missed it again. Again, he had time. There was no pressure, and he had time to take his touch. But no, he went for the first time, and mucked it up. at the minute we're trying to put him in the shop window and go, oh look, this is the shiny player that we want to let go of. But yeah, we can't do anything about it really. But Con, do you think Harvey will stay? Nope. When you look at it, where can he go? I know West Ham are currently being in the conversation. I think Spurs as well might be in the conversation for Harvey towards the end of the window. But again, as of things right now, nobody's really in the conversation. But again, we'll have to wait and see. But Kizzy says Nunes was never a striker for me, and either is Ekatike. Ekatike couldn't control the ball to save his life today. Let's be real here. Really, I thought he was quite good with his close control. Again, though, I will also say that pitch was horrendous. Like, let's be honest, Mo Salah as well also. Also, Mo Salah couldn't. There was a touch in the first half where like Mo takes it, and normally you would just take it, run with it. Didn't, just like took hold of it, bobbled a couple of times, and the player also took it. But yeah, I think that pitch today was horrendous. If I'm being honest. Con, what did you? To be fair, again, everyone has an opinion. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. But like I said, if you want to become a mod, you can do. But again, first of all, you have to let me know. And B, like the one things I would say is one, you got to be in the chat all the time, or like the chat in. Oh no, I know what you mean. Like in terms of we're all glazing then the shiny new tie. I know what you mean. Like for example, like when Isak signs, best striker ever. But we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, if you want to be a mod, you should let me know. But Ozan says, what did you make of Frimpong's performance? Gone, man, I was so rapid. He makes defenders look like they're running in sand. Very good. Because like I said, I think at right back, he had a very, very good game. He did. And that's probably the first time where we've probably seen it. Kyle, I'll make you a mod later. To be fair, I'll make a couple of people mods, so make sure you do take a look out. But I do look at it and go, for me, I think Frimpong. I said at the start of preseason, I wouldn't be surprised if we did see at the start of the season Kyrgios and Frimpong be the fullbacks. Because I think today as well, Conor Bradley, there was a few times where Conor Bradley didn't look right or didn't look comfortable with the ball. But I think that's just purely down to the pitch more than anything else. I don't think that's a knock on him specifically, but look, I do think, in my opinion, I think maybe on a better pitch, I think a few players have a better performance than really. But yes, Cal, I'll get that sorted later. Free Cal. Actually, can I do it now? Hang on a minute. I would need to. I need to go there. It's funny, right? Because sometimes, right, you can do it instantly, and then other times you can't do it. I don't know. Hang on a minute, chat. I am going to be with you now. Can I do that? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there you go, Cal. So, as I was saying, his name is Rio, and he dances on the sand. Dude does plenty in the sand, to be fair. Impressed by Trey's development as well. If he gets in the gym more and gets stronger physical, he won't lose the ball at all. Yeah, I would agree with that, but I also think I also look at it and go, he's still only what 18, like just above, just above that probably. I also look at it though, to be fair, and he probably. He'll probably turn around and go, the in an ideal world, Liverpool would like the likes of Trainioni, Rio Ngumoha, and other people that are coming through the academy at the minute to, on an overall perspective, to develop and have their own time to flourish. Like, because I think, obviously, as of now, even with Rio, for example, I've said to you guys, I don't think Liverpool should automatically just throw him in, because as of right now, Liverpool, we've seen in the past where Liverpool have gone on to throw players into the deep waters and it hasn't worked out. We've seen it plenty of times. And I know people nowadays will go, oh, well, Lamine Yamal's doing it at 17, or he's doing it at 18. And I think for the biggest period of time, I think a lot of people automatically seen, like, for example, like the Luis Diaz signing, where Lucho signed and from minute one was electric in that season, where he was an absolute brilliant player for us in the 21-22 season. And for 6 months, he was, unbelievable. The Carabao Cup final, the FA Cup final. It's just a shame it didn't work out in the Champions League final. But you guys know what I mean. Like, he was outstanding. I think everyone then at that point had that same sort of mentality of, oh, well, if Liverpool sign him, they have to be on it minute one, and it doesn't necessarily work out like that. Yes, they can have good periods, but it doesn't necessarily go like, oh, every player should automatically be 10 out of 10 week in, week out from minute one. Like, it's not how it works. Like, this is like with Florian Wirtz. No, Florian Wirtz will be amazing for Liverpool. Like, I think everyone has that type of opinion. But again, you have to take time with him. And as well with Rio Ngumoha, he will be amazing for Liverpool, but give him time. Don't rush him, because we've seen that, for example, like Stefan Bajcetic, Liverpool kind of forced in very quickly because, again, was having a very good, time around the squad. Obviously, I think in the pre-season as well, did very well in, obviously, the under-21s, under-23s. Liverpool were also, of course, allowing them to thrive in that position. Of course, with Liverpool's midfield problems, again, he came in and did amazing. But look what's happened to him since. He's had growing pains. He's had, an entire season out. Last year, got 2 loan moves. The first loan move at Salzburg didn't work out. Went out to Spain. It worked perfectly for him, but then got injured. And he's been injured the entire preseason. So when you look at it like that, again, take your time with kids, because at the end of the day, they will thrive and flourish. Just give them time to do so. Doesn't matter how long it takes. And obviously people go like, oh, Lamine Yamal, look at him. And it's like, look, Lamine Yamal's an unbelievable talent, but Liverpool will give him time to thrive and to flourish in this team for sure. Because again, if Liverpool believe he is the right guy, then for me, I think, in my honest opinion, he will absolutely thrive this season and be given opportunities when Cody Gakpo needs a rest now and again. So look, trust the team and trust the manager. As a Liverpool fan from the 80s, I've seen some of the best strikers out there for us, but I feel this gen of fans give passes to their fave players. I look on level judgment at what I am saying. But Isak's a must, in my opinion. Yeah, probably, because again, we only have one striker at the minute as well. But how was your overall rating for today's play? Again, I'm not going to judge off the play, because again, that pitch was horrendous. Simple as that. Hero, it was terrible. That pitch. But look, the things you want to see were there in times. But Wirtz's goal was so calmly taken. It's like he's scared. I think he scored with his eyes closed, but probably, knowing him. As a Liverpool fan, we get behind our players, but do we really? Nunez gets slammed on the daily, yet the new toys get away with it. It's jarring to me as well. I would agree with that, but then I think as well you can give constructive criticism. I think you can. Like, the thing is, like, people have, like, Liverpool, like, some Liverpool fans have said, like, oh, give Nunes another chance this season. No, like, it's quite clear to go, he is not the guy that we thought that he was going to develop into. It's as simple as that. Look, I went to that Benfica game in 21-22 where I watched Darwin Nunes with my eyes, and I thought, wow, what a player we've seen. If Liverpool looking for a number 9 in the summer, go and get Darwin Nunes. And you can ask plenty of people, like I was saying, I'd love Liverpool to go and sign Darwin Nunes, because all of the indications were that he was going to be a really, really good striker, and that's what Liverpool and the way we were going to go on. And yeah, just happily wrong about that, because look, Darwin Nunes, there's something there with Darwin where he has everything to be a class striker. He does, but he doesn't have the mental composure for a striker. He doesn't. We've seen that at times. Look at today. He's there in on goal, 1v1, and completely messes up. And look, strikers will do that. And I think the thing that we've seen over Darwin over the past couple of years is the fact that on general play, again, he'll create so many chances, he'll finish one off in the end. And now I think the way that, for example, like Ekitike is, again, I think when Isak does come in, of course, Ekitike is going to be on the bench mainly, but Ekitike will be learning from the likes of Mo Salah and even learning from Alexander Isak as well. And then the gap isn't really then for a huge gap then for what Arne Slot wants, really. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, but back anyone that puts on the kit, unless bad talk us, Trent, to be fair, QT. Vert's looking all good already. Yeah, he is. To be fair, I saw the pitch looked like they play golf on it. To be fair, I think it is. I think it's a proper athletics pitch. To be fair, going on preseason, I suppose he's standing up as well. To be fair, he is at the minute. Can Ekitike play striker, right wing, left wing? No, he can play striker and on the left. If needed, but again, I don't think it's going to be a main thing. I think Ekitike is Liverpool striker until Liverpool get Alexander Isak, which hopefully will be very, very soon. Anyway, but look, I am going to leave it there for now, guys. Like I said, we will be back at about 9 p.m. Tonight. Of course, we've spoken a little bit about the game, of course, but we're going to be back at 9 talking and discussing, of course, the transfer news, talk about Alexander Isak, we'll talk about, obviously, Luis Diaz as well. Obviously, the move to Bayern Munich has already been confirmed. So yeah, we'll get your guys' thoughts and reactions on it. And hopefully I'll see you guys at 9 p.m. For the transfer show anyway. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the Cop Council. We'll see you guys later on. Ta-ra.